Special thanks to Patreon supporter Brock Cherry for making this video possible. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Security here bringing you another Minecraft Cold War vehicle tutorial. In this tutorial, we go ahead and building the XM104. The XM104 was a US developed self-propelled amphibious air-droppable / heliborne 105mm howitzer. Pilot models of the howitzer were built by the U.S. Army Ordnance Tank Automotive Command's Experimental Division at the Detroit Tank Arsenal Shops, Warren, Michigan. A follow-up model is known as the XM204. This designed vehicle was designed to basically be a support vehicle for the amphibious assaults, but also for airborne operations. It was able to be dropped from aircraft and helicopter, which gave it kind of a big help to ground forces on the ground. Obviously, this program never went past the kind of planning stage, and there were a couple different versions of the vehicle that were built, but the one that we have here in front of us is kind of the more prominent one that is actually still on display in the somewhere in the country. I'm not exactly sure the exact place, but that's what I use for reference on building it. It's a cool vehicle and kind of interesting little self-propelled artillery piece, and should make a cool addition to any of your worlds if you're looking for some kind of weird kind of Cold War type equipment. Before we go ahead and jump into this build though, I do want to go ahead and give a special thanks to Patreon supporter Brock Cherry for making this tutorial possible. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel more than you already do, feel free to check my Patreon page. Link is always in my video descriptions, where you can go and pledge a small amount to the channel every month, and in doing so earn a vehicle request of your choosing per month you're a patron. It really helps support the work I do on my channel. It's really greatly appreciated, so definitely feel free to check that out. Again, links for that is always in my video descriptions. With that though, let's go ahead and dive in here and take a look at the XM104. So going ahead and getting started with the XM104, pretty simple vehicle. It's really small, as you can see. It's a very simple kind of compact type vehicle. It has the kind of main body here. This is where the driver and the co-driver or passenger would sit and operate the vehicle from. And then behind it we have the space here where you can have two additional crew members kind of seated. We have the gun itself. Again, it's a 105mm kind of field howitzer, so pretty middle-sized, I guess, artillery type gun. The tracks system, all that stuff for it, and also has the deployable kind of plow here in the back to help support and stabilize the vehicle during firing operations. And that's really the vehicle. It's pretty straightforward and a pretty small, simplistic one, probably one of our smallest ground vehicles to date, but should make a cool addition to any of your worlds. It's definitely kind of a unique piece of equipment. With that though out of the way, let's go ahead and move into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer number 1. Alright guys, moving into our first layer, go ahead and begin with layer 1. For layer 1 to start with, we're going to place down another brick upside down stair like so. We then want to go ahead and place down a row of 4 of black shulker boxes that are going to be on their sides like this, going down the side of the vehicle. And we're going to go ahead and then place down an air brick wall here on the very end. And actually this last block, we're going to go ahead and actually swap out for a black concrete block. So we're going to go ahead and place down our upside down air brick stair here, and then 3 of the shulker boxes sideways, and then a black concrete block, so that this air brick wall will connect up to that block. So it should look like that there. We're going to go ahead and then place down a dark oak with top side coming off this this air brick wall here, and then an air brick top slab back from that. We're going to go ahead and then go 1, 2, 3, 4 block or slabs forward to bring us to this point here. We're going to go then copy the same thing we did on the other side, just over here to the side. So we have our 3 shulker boxes, our black concrete, and our air brick wall. And then we're also going to place down an air brick up down stair here on the front like that. Once we have that all done, we're going to go ahead and then go to this back section here. And you've got a couple options you can go ahead and do here for this or for the back here. You can either go ahead and grab yourselves an item frame. And you can place down an item frame here, and then trip our hook in the item frame and rotate this to face downwards. However, for us on Java, we're going to go ahead and do a different technique here. We're going to place down a block like this to both sides, and then a trip our hook here. We're going to use our debug stick, and you can obtain a debug stick by typing the command /give @p minecraft :debug _stick. So this command right here, press and enter, will give you this glowing stick. Now this is going to be a Java only feature, but you can go ahead and go to the trip our hook. You can left click this to get selected facing, and then we're going to go ahead and rotate this until it gets on the side of our slab. We're going to do the same thing here on both sides, and you get something that looks like that there. So pretty simple stuff. You can go ahead and do that to both sides there, or you can use the item frame technique depending on what version of Minecraft you're on. The last step for us to go ahead and do for this layer is to go ahead and create this banner. Now I'm not going to show you guys how to make it in a loom because it's only 2 steps and pretty straightforward, but basically you're going to need a green banner and 2 black dye. You're going to place the black dye in the loom and you're going to go and do a border around the green banner of black, and then you're going to go ahead and do a black horizontal line through the center of it. That right there will create this banner design, which you'll be going ahead and then place it down on the sides of each one of these black blocks on the sides like that to go ahead and create your individual road wheels that run along the track. And once you have that all complete there, that is going to be it for layer number 1 of the build. Here is an aerial view of what it looks like from the top down view. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, which will be layer number 2. Alright guys, so moving into our next layer, we have layer number 2. For layer 2 to start with, we're going to place down a green terracotta block here, mossy cobblestone wall, and another green terracotta block. We're going to go ahead and place down a block here in the center, and then a row of 3 of blocks across, dark oak with slab to both sides, like so, and then we're going to place down our item frames here on the sides of the slab and the green terracotta blocks like this, as well as going ahead and grabbing ourselves some dark oak trapdoors that we're going to place down on the sides here of these forward green terracotta blocks. Now, once we have that all in place, we do also want to go ahead and grab ourselves gray beds, and we're going to place down gray beds in those item frames, and we're going to go ahead and rotate the gray beds so that they sit sideways like so. If you're on Java, we can also go ahead and place down a dark oak sign on the side of those blocks with the item frame, so it looks something like this. Just a little side note here is if you are not on Java, such as Bedrock or Pocket Edition, you will not be able to place down item frames and signs in the same block space. If that's the case, then really no big deal, you'll just place down the item frames and disregard the signs. Continuing on, we're going to go ahead and place down another row of 3 of green terracotta across, followed by a second row, and then we're going to place down a mossy cobblestone wall in the center here with a green terracotta block to both sides. Now on the side of this green terracotta block here, we're going to place down a dark oak trapdoor. Over here, same thing, and then our 2 item frames and our gray beds in those item frames rotated sideways. We'll then take our dark oak signs, and again we're going to place them on the sides of those blocks, and same thing will be done over here as well, like so, and again our signs if applicable. After we have that done, on the back here, we're going to go ahead and then place down a dark oak upside down stair. So it's going to be like this, and then we're going to place down a trapdoor coming off the stair like so. We then want to go ahead and grab our zombie head, and we're going to place down a zombie head to both sides of the stair. And we then want to place down a dark oak trapdoor, and we're going to go ahead and close it like this on both sides there. And then we want to go ahead and grab ourselves a barrier block. We're going to place down a barrier block here coming off of these zombie heads, and then we're going to place down a dark oak sign on the side of those barrier blocks like that to go ahead and start creating the back plow. And then lastly for this layer here, we're going to go ahead and place down a end rod that's going to be coming off these 2 green terracotta blocks like that on the back there. And once you have that all complete, that is going to wrap up everything there is there for layer number 2 for the build. And here is a top-down view of what it should look like. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, which will be layer number 3. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we moved into layer number 3. For layer 3, we're start off, we're going to place down a zombie head here on both sides, and then we're going to place down a item frame that is going to go here in the center. So it's going to go right here. We're going to place down a green terracotta block in the item frame, and again for Java players, we'll place a dark oak button there. Again, the dark oak button and item frame in the same block space, only a feature on Java. After we have that done, we're going to go ahead and then place down a redstone repeater here. We're going to go ahead and separate the notches like so, and then we're going to place down an iron trap door like this to both sides of that redstone repeater. We'll then place down an iron trap door on the back of these ones here, and then using our debug stick here, we're going to left click the iron trap door till we get selected open, it should say false. We'll right click this and set this to true and open up those iron trap doors so that they kind of create a seat here. Now, unfortunately for other versions that don't have a debug stick, an alternative to this would probably be to place down a birchwood trap door, or something of that sort there. Probably a birchwood trapdoor would be your best option as an alternative there for the seats. We're also going to place down dark oak trapdoors on the side of those 2 iron trapdoors, and we're going to go ahead and make sure that we open these so that they lay kind of upwards along the side there. With that done, in the center space here, we're going to go ahead and place down a daylight detector like this. Going back from it, we're going to place down a dark oak slab, and then we're going to go ahead and then place down a green terracotta block here. Now on the right side of this gun, we're going to go ahead and place down a dark oak fence gate like this. We're going to place down an item frame, and in that item frame we're going to place down a cobweb like that. Then we're going to go ahead and then place down a rail that is going to be right in front of the fence gate in this space here. Now on the other side, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. So we're going to place down a fence gate here, item frame, and again a cobweb in the item frame like so, and again a rail right there on that spot like that. Now going back from this, we're going to place down a dark oak top slab We'll place down an item frame on both sides of the top slab, as well as a green terracotta block in the item frames. We'll then take our dark oak wood signs, and we're going to place down a dark oak wood sign on the side of the slab, and again for Java, we'll place it on the sides of the slab with the item frame as well. And after we have that all done there, that is going to wrap up everything we have there for layer number 3 of the build. Here is a aerial view of what it looks like from a top-down view. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, or our final layers, which will be layers number 4 through 5. Moving into our last final layers, we have layers 4 through 5. For these layers to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down green terracotta on top of this dark oak wood slab and on top of this daylight detector right here. We're going to go ahead and then take our dark oak wood slabs, and we're going to go ahead and go forward 1, 2, 3 slabs, and then on the very front here, we're going to go ahead and place down a polished blackstone slab on the very end. After that's done, we're going to place down a birchwood fence gate on top of these 2 iron trapdoors, or rather the ones that are laying flat there, and we're going to go ahead and open up these fence gates toward the rear of the vehicle. Now on the right side here of the vehicle, we're going to place down 2 of these zombie heads, and over on the other side, it's going to be a zombie head, just one, that's going to be followed with a end rod, so like that. Then we want to go ahead and go to the center space here. We're going to go ahead and place down a piston. If you are not on Java, instead of a piston, I would recommend an end portal frame instead as an alternative. That will work pretty good for this position. On the right side here, we're going to place down a dark oak wood sign on the side of this block. And then on the other side, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves a lightning rod. And we're going to place down a lightning rod that is going to come off the build like that. So it's going to look like this here. Then after that piston, we want to go ahead and then place down a dark oak wood slab. Now, once we're done with that, on the left side of the vehicle, we're going to place down a dark oak wood fence post on the left side of the slab. We're going to place down an item frame on the back here of the slab. And in that item frame, we want to go ahead and place down a black concrete block. We're also going to place down a dark oak wood sign on the side of the slab as well, if applicable. And then on this side here, we'll place a slab like that. Then we want to go ahead and take our debug stick. We'll left click the piston until we get selected extended false prompt pop up. We'll right click it, get rid of that wood portion, and that helps create the shape there for our gun. And for the last bit here for the gun to finish it off, we're going to place down a redstone repeater with the notches spread apart, and then 2 dark oak wood trapdoors going forward for it, like that, to go ahead and complete your gun. And with that all done, you have layers 4 through 5 complete, and with that, my tutorial for the XM104 Howitzer is complete. And with that, hopefully you guys do enjoy this build and are able to put it to good use. If you do use this build, I do ask you guys give me proper credit for it. This can be anything from the style of the build, link to my channel or this video if this doesn't bring social media sites. As long as you guys give me proper credit for the build, you're a free user for a project you guys are working on. Overall, enjoy the build, have fun with it, and all that fun stuff. If you guys haven't already, be sure to go ahead and check out my Patreon page where you can go ahead and make a pledge to donate to the channel every month, and every month through a patron you do earn a vehicle request you're choosing, so definitely feel free to check that out. It's really cool and great way to get stuff built that you would like to see. Anyways though, with that out of the way, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Gamer2x4, and I'll see you guys next time.